Welcome back to Rich Words Music at 42 Gear Street 6, where once again, yes, one more time, I've been joined by my Welsh partner in crime. It's Mr. Leigh Fuge.
Thanks for having me. You can't get rid of me this year, can you?
I can't. I don't know what I've done wrong, but it's a pleasure as always. Of course.
Yeah, likewise. It's a pleasure to always be invited. Maybe we should just give up on our own channels and just start a channel which is just us, because that always seems to be the theme, doesn't it?
I would actually quite like that, and I was thinking that this room, Studio B at Henning's place, it's kind of like empty, 51 weeks of the year pretty much.
Yeah.
So why don't we just move over?
We'll just live with Henning and we'll just make videos in this room.
I think that'd be quite fun. I mean, I love this room. It looks great. It's
I love this
room to film in here as well. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, something even better than the room to make a brilliant segue here is the gear that I'm about to discover today, because we're looking at Valiant Guitars. And alongside Valiant Guitars, we're also going to be looking at Lichtlaerm Audio, a fabulous German pedal brand that I think neither of us is really super familiar with.
No.
And we're going to be running all of that through the new orange Orianthi signature model amplifier, which I believe you've already played this weekend, right?
I have, and I love as well. It's a really good amp.
Yeah.
Very good.
So brand spanking new. It's a take on the Reverb 32, if I'm correct?
Yeah, it's sort of like a variation of the Reverb. Orianthi's been playing the Reverb as her main amp for many years. And when Orange approached her about what changes she'd want in a signature model, she picked obviously this really cool white sort of, it's almost like a paisley, but there's kind of a floral design Tolex to it. And on the whole, the amp was explained to me as it's more or less the same, but it's slightly lighter because they've got some neodymium creamback speakers in there. So it reduces the weight slightly. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's an Orange amp, so it still weighs the same as a small truck, but it's slightly lighter than other Orange amps. Yeah. I think this is a combo and it weighs in about 31 kilograms.
It's pretty heavy. It surprises me a bit that you say that there's neodymium speakers in there, because
it'd probably be like 35 kilograms.
Yeah, exactly. So you do need a tech, but I think Orianthi's probably all right for that.
And the tone stack has changed slightly as well. It's much more mid-forward.
Yeah.
Compared to the Reverb, which is still quite mid-forward, but this has got a bit more mid-poke in it as well.
Okay, interesting.
And it goes from like sparkling clean to like pretty wild, heavy drive sounds. It's super versatile.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And we're going to be using it as a pedal platform today, but yeah, the main focus is for you to really tell me about Valiant Guitars, this amazing Ukrainian brand with these really quirky, idiosyncratic models, one of which even has a finish named after you now, right? Tell us the story of your history with Valiant.
So, I met the Valiant guys here at 42 Gear Street in, I want to say 2022, I think it was, 42 Gear Street 4. And we were talking, me and Igor from the brand were talking about me getting one of the Jupiter models, which is the 1TR right there, which is like a...
Can we see that? Yeah.
There we go. Like a kind of a jazz mastery offset kind of vibe. And the finish actually started as a bit of a joke, because I was asking him what colors they could do. And he said, well, we can do anything, like whatever you want. And I said, how crazy can you get with the finishes? And he said, yeah, well, I am pretty crazy. We can do whatever you can come up with. So I said, what about you cover the guitar in paisley and then spray over the top of that purple glitter and then sand it back to see the paisley in certain points? And he said, yeah, we could do that. And it started off, originally it sort of started as a bit of a joke, and then 6 months later the guitar arrived and it's like, oh, okay, all right, this is a real thing. But it's a fantastic guitar. It looks great, plays, sounds great. So yeah.
Yeah, and now everybody else can order that finish as well, can't they?
It's actually on the Valiant website. It's called Welsh Paisley.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I will link to some videos of Leigh showcasing that guitar, because you have videos where you talk about it at length, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do that. But today we've got some newer models, which I've never seen before. I don't know if you have. Here in my hands, I'm holding the Mercury, which is a kind of, I don't know how I'd describe it. It's kind of offset S-type sort of a vibe with an HSS pickup configuration, hardtail bridge. Fantastic weight, really nice and light.
This is their newest model. So out of the 4 models that we've got here, this is the newest one to the catalogue. The other 3 were models 2 years ago when they came here. Okay. But this one has been released since then.
Oh, right, okay.
This is also available with a trem too. So you can actually have this in a more traditional sort of, 25.5-inch scale with a trem setup as well.
Yeah, okay, nice. And you've got these sort of idiosyncratic features like a brass nut, the Valiant bridge, a lot of the hardware is also made in-house, right? They do everything themselves.
Yeah, they make it with an aircraft-grade metal called duralium or something to that extent. I can't remember the exact name of the material, but
made in Ukraine.
Basically used for building airplanes.
Yeah, relicked fairly tastefully, I would say. The only non-in-house thing here would be these Goto tuners on this.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
These ones all have Valiant's own pickups as well. Some of the older models have like branded pickups, like mine has a set of bare knuckles, for instance, because that's who they were using at the time. But now they've started doing their own pickups. So this guitar is Valiant pickups as well.
Yeah, okay, right. And the guitar you're holding there is the Smith.
Yeah, this is their sort of single cut, you know, full fat, heavy guitar with twin humbuckers. You know, you sort of know what that's inspired by. And yeah, this is a great guitar. This is the, you know, if you're a rock guy, a metal guy, this is the guitar of choice. It's high output pickups. I'm not sure exactly what these ones are, but yeah, it's kind of got all the usual Valiant refinements. It's nice carved top. You've got that like kind of flamed maple reveal binding.
Yeah.
Obviously all the hardware is very kind of bespoke to this guitar as well, because you can see here that's not your standard two pneumatic bridge. That's obviously something quite different.
Exactly, and I'm guessing that you couldn't drop in different hardware because it's all unique to this instrument, right?
Yeah, by the looks of it. It doesn't look like you could put any sort of third-party stuff on there because these have been kind of made for this guitar. But I'm guessing if I know anything about the guitars so far, these aren't going to break after a couple of weeks. You'll probably never need to replace the hardware on this guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. All right, so I guess we should get a few tones out of these bad boys.
Yeah.
You're plugged in, so we'll start with you.
Okay.
We'll use the clean channel of the orange, and then we'll engage some of the Lichtlaerms on the floor. Just very quickly to tell you what we've got here on the floor. We've got the Aquaria, which is Klon-esque in terms of flavor, although there's a lot more than you'd get from a standard Klon in terms of controls, and there's an additional boost EQ section here as well.
Nice.
Next to it in the middle we have the Alta, which is a brand new pedal, and this is muffy in flavor, although again you've got a whole lot of extra stuff going on as well, and an additional boost too. And over right at the left we have the Untiefe, the shallow, I guess you would translate that as in English, and that's a reverb pedal that can do everything from small reverbs to huge cavernous, I think pretty much limitless, massive soundscapes.
Cool.
But I guess we'll try all of them out at some point during this video. So clean tones with the Smith.
Sustained for days.
Really nice.
Really rings.
That was really nice and mellow, but I also get the feeling that these are pretty high output pickups, and that guitar can handle high gain really, really well.
Yeah, this thing is great as like, you get those nice warm clean sounds, but when you really give it some, it gives you plenty back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you give us just a tiny little bit on both pickups together? Because that's my favorite LP type setting, so I'd just like to hear that. Yeah, really, really nice. It does that thing that I kind of know, but I'm really sort of excited to hear that one with a bit more gain. Is that your phone going off?
Yeah. Sorry.
I think I've left mine on as well, so we're both equally guilty at this point.
You think I'd know by now. I've been to enough of these events, so I should know not to put my phone next to the amp.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So that's the Smith on clean. We had a tiny bit of reverb coming from the Untiefe down there on the floor.
It's nice. It's like a mellow reverb, isn't it? It's not too in your face.
Yeah, exactly. We've basically got the controls down here. If we can see the pedal thing, we've got the decay and the depth and the rate there way down. So
what happens if you turn like the decay up, for instance? Like, let's hear what the actual reverb.
Okay, give us a bit of a note with nothing.
That was no volume as well.
So that's already something.
Oh, there's a little modulation there as well. Okay.
Starting to get big, all the way up. All right. So I think it goes forever.
Yeah, I think there's quite a long decay tail left.
Yeah. And that's without playing with the rate or the depth or anything like that. So we'll turn it back down there for now before we go a bit crazy.
I just want to point out as well, when I finished playing that chord, I actually turned the guitar off as well. Yeah, that was all the pedal.
Yeah, so if you like ambient reverbs, this is going to be the one for you to try out. I wish we had more time to really get into full depth with these pedals because it's like there are so many options and there are so many sounds that you could discover, but we don't have the time slots, the chips to make more videos with them. But anyway, that sounded fantastic. Let's carry on with the Smith and get through that model first.
Okay.
So we'll kick in the Clonesque pedal, which is the Aquaria here down on the right. And I'll just do that here. We won't use the boost. That sounded nice.
Yeah.
We had the gain actually close to max at first.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as I thought it would be in terms of drive.
Yeah.
And then I edged it down kind of more towards the sort of edge of breakup stuff that I would do. And I did engage the boost as well, and it wasn't as crazy as I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
really nice.
I guess clone circuits aren't really super high gain anyway. You get enough juice out of them if you're playing rock, but they're not sort of take your head off gain, are they?
No, I mean, it really depends how you want to use them. But
yeah.
Generally, for the kind of music that I play, it is edge of breakup sort of stuff. But, you know, Josh Scott from JHS Pedals, for example, he likes to really dime his, which I find interesting. But
yeah, I like the sound of a clone when it's dimed. I never use it that way in my own playing, but every now and again I'll kind of crank it up just to get a bit of vibe from it.
Yeah.
They do say with a clone, obviously I don't know how this particular one is built, but if you have like a very traditional clone or even a real clone, they do say that the clip-in diodes don't really kick in until you get the gain to like 10 or 11 o'clock. So when people are running them as clean boosts, they're basically sort of, the idea is you're basically like not really doing much other than adding volume and a little bit of top end.
Okay.
Whereas if you really want the kind of the warmth of the gain, you've got to get that up to sort of 11 o'clock, and then the diodes really start to kick in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But this one sounds really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it has that mid-pushed sound, right?
It's kind of, but it's kind of a clone though for people who don't like the traditional clone layout, because I mean, obviously you've got so many more things there.
Yeah,
you can really tweak it more.
Yeah, I totally agree. You've got everything that you need in terms of a clone. But if you are someone who doesn't like clones but kind of wants that sort of a flavour,
you've got
like
that
four-band EQ and the boost to really, change the flavour. And you've got, compared to a standard clone, you've got a blend control, which you don't find on all of them.
No.
But there you go. Like some people like to have some cleans in.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Does that also say dynamics? Is there some kind of compression built in as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool looking pedal. I think we both need to do full in-depth videos on this pedal at some point.
I think so.
So there we go. That's for another day. Let's try it just with a little bit of the fuzz there from the altar before we move on to the next guitar and see how that works.
pretty mean sounding. That was the neck pickup as well.
Really?
Yeah, I switched to the neck pickup about halfway through.
Very, very interesting sound.
Quite a mean sounding fuzz there.
Yeah, again, like it does muff stuff, but so much more. We boosted it with the Aquarius too, but like there's a compression knob there. And Daniel from Lichtlaerm said it's not as muffy if you've got the compression all the way up. Turn that down to get it more like a muff. And it gets madder and badder and stuff. And that did sound pretty mean. So again, with 9 different controls, and again with this extra boost, you've got a lot going on in this pedal.
Yeah, for such a small footprint as well.
Yeah, exactly. But that sounded fantastic. So that was the Smith.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the Mercury.
And this tuner, mute me.
Yeah.
Can I give you the cable?
Now the Mercury is a new model. S-type in terms of shape overall, but offset with this HSS pickup configuration.
Yes.
Tell me what you know about this guitar, if you know anything about this guitar.
So I do. I know. Well, I think I know a bit about this guitar. So this has, even though it's a HSS setup, you've got a 3-way switch. So the first thing you might think is obviously HSS. You think of like you can get a lot of typical Strat sounds out of it, but a 3-way switch does limit the ability to do that. But that's where this switching system here comes in. So what Valiant do on a lot of their guitars, they have these 2 little toggle switches here, and they unlock some sort of extra switching capabilities. So when the pickup switch is in the bridge position, you've got the bridge humbucker on, this switch here has 3 positions. So in the middle it's in series, which is the full humbucker, but then you can push it this way, and that turns that into a single coil. And this way, it's parallel, so it splits the 2 coils, but runs them in parallel. So you get that almost kind of Strat position 2 vibe.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I'm not 100% certain on with this guitar is how that functions when you go to the other pickups, because obviously that is the middle pickup, that's the neck pickup, but you still have the same switch. When it's in series, I believe, I could be wrong with this, but I believe when it's in series and you have that position there enabled, it kind of puts those 2 into like a humbucker, I think.
Okay.
But then when it's in the neck and you go to single coil, then it's just single coil mode.
Okay.
And then parallel puts those 2 in parallel, so kind of like a Strat position 4. That's the way I understood it, but yeah, I think I'm maybe close.
Yeah, well, many different options.
Yeah.
We'll hear a few sounds now on clean and dirty, but I'll probably put a link down there so you guys can find out what exactly it does. But you never know, you might be right.
Yeah. I'd say probably the best way to start would be to put that into single coil mode, and then these will function as independent single coils.
Yeah.
And then you use this switch then to kind of link them in series or parallel. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay, so if I flick up to here with this on SC, I'm going to be on neck single coil mode. Yeah. Well, let's see.
I've got the same switching system, but in a twin humbucker guitar, so it's I know how it works in that sense. I think that's how it works for this as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. It's nice and chimey.
It's an interesting sounding single coil, and I really like the sound of that reverb as well.
Yeah.
Now that was the SC mode, as we said. I'm really confused as to what to do now.
Put it into like parallel mode, and you kind of get like these 2 pickups in parallel.
Let's do the same thing again. And in series?
Should be like a humbucker then. Yeah, like an approximation of a humbucker.
Okay.
So you can really hear the difference if you like strum a chord, and I'll move between them. So I'll go single coil, humbucker, and then parallel. You can hear the parallel is quite quacky, and it almost has that like scooped thing. Like it kind of takes the mids out, and then when you're in the series mode, it gets much bigger and fatter.
Yeah, it's a really nice sounding pickup. Let's move across to the bridge humbucker. I'm going to try that sort of thing again. Can I split the bridge humbucker to single coil by doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Same strummy thing, switchy thing. Very nice.
You can hear that, again, that parallel sound's got that quack to it.
Yeah.
That you get from like a Strat position 2 or position 4.
Yeah, very
kind of
flexible,
approximates that sound, which is really cool.
I like it. It's a really nice sounding guitar. Let's hear the middle pickup, which I guess you just access via this. And I guess
that would need to be in
single coil mode just to hear that as a middle. So that's going to be.
That's interesting because actually both of the toggle switches affected the middle position then.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we need to ask Valiant exactly how that works.
So there's definitely extra stuff going on, but that's a lovely chimey sounding guitar.
Yeah. There's tons of tones in it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like you can do everything from quacky to heavy with that, which is fun.
Yeah. Well, we actually did a separate video yesterday.
Yes.
Which is on Leigh's channel. I hope it's already out on your channel, but if not, I'll link it when it's out, where we went through 3 different HSS types of guitars. Yeah. And we did feature one of the Valiants in that.
This guitar, but in a different colour.
Exactly. I believe it was this exact guitar.
It was this exact one that's between us.
And it is it's a great instrument for all sorts of styles. So let's hear it with a bit of drive now as well.
What, you want some clon?
Yeah. Now, how can I get the bridge humbucker just in humbucking mode?
The middle positions, where it says series.
Where it says serial. Okay, so I'm down at the bottom in series here, and this is the bridge pickup. It's an interesting sound with the clon there. It's like it's really in your face. It's much more aggressive than the Smith, and it's a tone that I like, but it's a tone that's really going to cut through a mix.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. It's going to slice through the mix.
Really nice.
I gig a lot with the Valiant, and it's great for that. Just cutting through a dense mix on stage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're quite pokey live, but in a good way. Like you can really hear them. They've got a really nice kind of top end carve that just gets straight through whatever's around it.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, I can totally imagine.
Almost like a hi-fi quality. I always kind of describe it as. They sound very hi-fi.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. Yeah. Very pristine, but at the same time, like sort of edgy. It's hard to describe, but yeah. Anyway, neck pickup sounds a bit like this. For the kind of indie stuff that I spent a lot of time doing, that was really nice. Yeah, and I think I ended on the serial mode. Serial mode.
I think, is it series or serial? Series.
Serial is the most important meal of the day, but series is going to be the humbucking type mode, right? Yeah. With this pickup together.
Yeah, it'll engage both those pickups together.
So that was quite nice. I
sort
of enjoyed that. Now, because this is sort of a bit alt-rocky, let's try it with the fuzz before we move on.
Do you want it stacked with the clon, or?
Let's just see how we go from here. And I'm on the bridge humbucker, I think. It does
punchy.
It does that kind of thing. Yeah, very, very nice. I like this a lot.
Very punchy.
It seems like it would be versatile enough to play pretty much any kind of music as well.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you could definitely get through a lot of different stuff with a guitar like that.
Yeah, we haven't got into metal territory in this video. We don't have time to do that, but still, very, very impressive.
It probably could, though. That's the thing.
Okay, let's do winner stays on of these two guitars. Which one are we going to move off to test the next one?
It depends which one you want to test next, because that will determine if you want to test the Jupiter next, or if you want to test the Soothsayer next.
Let's test this one.
So
the Jupiter.
This one will stay on then, because that one's closer to you.
Yep, okie dokie. So, hold that a sec.
Yep.
I'll take this for a sec. Now tell me about this guitar, because this is a model with which you're very familiar.
Yeah, so this is the original kind of offset design they had. I guess half of the DNA for this obviously ended up in the Mercury as well. This particular one has two P90s, which my Jupiter has two humbuckers and the same switching system as the Mercury. So this is a little bit different. This is a bit more stripped back than the one I own. But, you know, same kind of ballpark, though. It's obviously like an offset design. Two P90s. This particular one has just got three-way switch, volume and tone, so it's straight to the point.
Yeah.
My one, because it has the humbuckers, it has the series parallel and split coil thing as well.
Yeah.
Which you can get these with, not the P90s, obviously, but they can do them with humbuckers and the additional options as well. But yeah, these are fantastic.
Yeah, and again, P90s doesn't necessarily mean that it's only for certain styles of music.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So what have we got going on down there?
Let's turn it clean to start.
Nice and clean. Let's go with the same riff as before so we know what we're hearing. Nice pokey P90s. You get that mid honky sort of a sound, but they do their thing. Like I love P90 pickups.
I hadn't played this one. This is like a new build for them. They've only recently started doing these with P90s. And actually they also do these with I don't think there's any at the event, but they actually started doing these with the Mastery proper Jazz Master Trems as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've seen a few of them at other trade shows, but I don't think they have any here this weekend. But they do them with those as well.
Are these also Valiant brand pickups, do you know?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. They haven't told me otherwise. But the P90 one is like a new variation on the guitar.
Yeah.
They also do the Mercury with a trem as well, just in case people want a trem.
Yeah. Very nice. Like that a lot. Should we get a little bit of drive going on on this thing and see what we get? Can we bob the reverb down a bit? I was going to say we can't, can we? Because the reverb doesn't go down less than that.
It sounds great.
It does that P90 thing, yeah.
Where this guitar really sounds great is with the overdrive channel on this amp. Hang on, my mistake. Yes.
Was that reverb coming from the pedal or from the amp then? Because the amp's got a built-in real spring reverb, hasn't it?
That's from the pedal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounded nice.
Yeah. That works really well with this amp on the drive channel.
I tell you what, would you like to give us a quick whiz with that guitar and this amp because you know it so well?
With the amp's drive sound, or?
Yeah, go for it. The sound that you know and love. I've been past a scalloped guitar here, which is way outside my comfort zone. Beautiful. Little bit of the Aquaria there. Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's a load of reverb, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah,
it's really nice sounding reverb.
Yeah, but we're running the reverb into the front end, and that's going to have a slightly different effect. There's an effects loop on that amp, I assume, but
it does have a loop.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an interesting sound reverb into the front of the amp. But yeah. So that is a lovely guitar as well. Yeah. Have you done a dedicated video with it?
Not a dedicated video, but I've used it in a load of other videos.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
More links so you can watch Leigh doing his thing with that guitar as well.
I did a video on this amp with this guitar. So
yeah. Okay, perfect.
That exact pairing.
Well, let's hope that video is out when this one comes out so I can link people to it as well. All right, then, let's talk about the Soothsayer scalloped version.
Yeah.
What do you know about this guitar? Because I've literally never seen it before.
So this one is their kind of, I mean, you can see what it's inspired by. It's their sort of like super stratty kind of vibe. These are available with a bunch of different pickup configurations as well. This particular one has kind of like a hot humbucker in the bridge and a kind of a hot rail in the neck. Is that 5 or 3?
3.
3-way switch. And a scalloped fretboard, which is out of my comfort zone as well. they do them without scallops as well if you don't like the scalloping. Yeah, it's a new experience for me playing a scalloped fretboard too. But I think it's the only Soothsayer at the event. Actually, no, I'm wrong. There is another one, but it's in one of the other studios because I played it yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's Henning's one. But yeah, that one doesn't have a scallop.
Okay, and this is very much a super stratty, 80s hard rock sort of affair. I'm intimidated by
by the lack of fretboard.
That's the thing. It's interesting to hold also a guitar which is fully scalloped. Like often you'll see ones where from maybe the 12th fret or the 15th fret or something they've put scallops on, but this is all the way up and it's a totally different feel. It's quite interesting. I mean, we should try and play it, shouldn't we? Yeah.
Where it really affects you is when, like, if you have a really heavy touch.
Yeah, pressing down too hard, which is probably an issue that we're about to find out that I have. Now, this is interesting as well.
Yeah, if you push down too hard, then the scallops become an issue because obviously you bend past the point. Might check, do a quick tuning check. When you buy one, they come in tune.
Do they?
Yeah, and then they should stay in tune forever. That would be nice, wouldn't it? If you
That'd
just
be really nice.
tune it once and then you're kind of done with it.
Isn't that what the whole locking tuners thing is supposed to be?
It helps the tuning stability.
But I mean, the heat and the humidity at this event has been absolutely brutal, and I think that
today's like
none of the guitars have managed it.
Yeah, today's like the coolest day so far, and it's still pretty hot.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's play a G chord. And I'm actively trying to fret as lightly as I can, but I'll fret it kind of normally.
Where you'll notice it is like fret the same chord, but then let the chord ring, and then with the finger on the low E, push a little harder.
Yeah. Kind of, it's almost like a behind the nut bend.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting.
So it makes you hyper aware of how hard you play.
Yeah.
So really, like, if you've got a light touch, scallops won't be an issue because you're never really pushing past that point.
Yeah.
But if you do have quite a heavy fretting hand, then obviously scallops will be a bit of an issue if you're kind of getting used. You know, if you've never used them before, they can be problematic in that sense.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm guessing, by the way, that most people who are going to be buying this model of guitar are like, they're looking to play fast, shreddy, probably neoclassical sort of licks on it.
Yeah.
And the kind of guy that I am is never going to buy a guitar like this, most likely because we play rhythm and chords and stuff most of the time. But still, let's hear a couple of clean sounds before we move over to some gain. Bridge humbucker. Actually sounds quite nice.
I'm not sure if it splits in the middle position, but because it got quite chimey.
It did, didn't it? If it doesn't split, it is very chimey, but I reckon you've got one of these coils and this one going on.
Yeah,
there.
quite possibly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not too bad clean tones. It works for me, but it's really intended for a lot of gain. And I think I'd quite like to ask you to play with that.
Okay.
For most of it, but I'll do a little bit first and we'll see what we can get.
Bit of clon. More gain. From the pedal or? Well, yeah.
Let's try the pedal.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. I still feel like the guitar wants to do more, and I feel like a clone pedal is probably not the right sort of drive for that kind of music, but it does sound good.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Interested to see if this guitar works with the fuzzy thing.
I tuned up the mids a bit as well, just to...
Put the boost on as well, let's hear what that does.
Kind of fattens it out quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do like this pedal a lot. It's really, really cool. Yeah, all right. Let's move across to you doing some of that sort of stuff.
Okay. The boost is quite dark, isn't it?
Yeah, the highs were down slightly below 12 o'clock and the low mids are quite far up. So try it again, I'll boost the highs a bit. Scallops work for you.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I've never actually played a scallop guitar for more than like 2 minutes before.
No.
It's interesting because it makes you very aware of, you know, not doing that.
It made me also feel like I was playing very simple chords, but it made me feel like I needed to be extra precise with the fretting as well.
Yeah.
And doing solos and stuff, I can imagine that it's a little bit harder at first, but presumably it gets easier. And presumably, if you're used to it, then it does make you a faster, more proficient player in that regard,
so.
right? Yeah.
I would assume so. I would guess if you spent, you know, a long time with a neck like this, then you kind of feel quite happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I just want to try very quickly is that Daniel from Lichtlaerm said that the boost side of this pedal works independently. So I just want to hear how that sounds on its own. So this is the clean amp. So it's two pedals in one as well.
That's a nice feature.
Yeah, very impressive. I like that a lot.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. So we've done a whistle stop tour now through 4 different models.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the room that we could or should look at while we're still here?
Yeah, so this is what a typical spec Jupiter would be. So this is pretty much what I've got, but in my custom finish with the 2 humbuckers, and then you've got the switching for each pickup. So it's 3-way switch here, and then you've got the bridge humbucker, series, single coil.
So it's the same switching as this one up here.
Yes.
But you've got the added simplicity of the fact that you only have 2 pickups there with 3-way as opposed to 3.
Exactly. And then you've got the neck humbucker, series, parallel, single coil. So it's the same principle, but it functions in that sense. So if you're in the middle position and you're in single coils, then it's single coil in each position.
Yeah.
So you could do like single, single, single. You could put them both in parallel. So it's that in parallel, or both in parallel. That's a really interesting sound.
Okay.
And then obviously you've got humbuckers. But you can do cool things with this, like you can have like the neck pickup in parallel and the bridge pickup in series in the middle position. So you've got 2 coils there in parallel and 1 coil here in single coil mode or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different switching options that you can't get with that.
Yeah, sure.
layout. So yeah, it's...
Wow, so there's a massive sort of smorgasbord of tones available there as well.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to be using just one of those 2 guitars, be it double humbucker or HSS with this one, which would you go for in terms of, you know, the fact that with the gigs that you play, you require many different sounds at the flick of a switch?
Which this gives me.
Yeah.
But that would also give me.
This would also give it to you, but I feel like in the heat of the moment, you do have the added level of simplicity of 2 pickups with this one with a 3-way switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably be slightly more biased towards this just because it's what I already have.
Yeah.
But Valiant are also in the process of building me one of these with with a HSS config and a 5-way switch rather than the switch in there.
Is it too late for you to ask for scalloped frets?
Probably not, but I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just get like some fret, like the 7th fret scalloped or something.
Yeah.
Just scallop 1 fret. Just like an honesty fret to keep me, make sure I'm consistent then.
That would be a pretty good idea. That would be a unique idea for a signature guitar as well, right?
like an honesty fret.
Yeah.
So you know if you play that fret and you're out of tune, you need to go away and practice your
yeah, exactly.
lightening your touch up.
That's the thing with signature guitars as well. You've got to have something slightly different from the standard model.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd be the only guy out there with a signature guitar with a scalloped 7th fret.
The problem is, though, I would play it badly. That's the problem. And I wouldn't be very good at showing that guitar off.
Would still be your signature, though. I like that about it.
Yeah, yeah. Scallop frets for me are okay in this environment, but I know full well that when I'm on stage, I press way too hard. And I know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm okay playing scallop frets, like, sat down, but if I was to take this on stage, I'd probably be better off tuning the guitar like a quarter tone flat. And then the extra pressure I put would probably make me in tune.
I can imagine it would be totally the same thing for me. And I can also imagine that if I had one guitar that was scalloped and other guitars that weren't, I might have issues moving backwards and forwards between them.
Yeah.
But if I had one scalloped guitar and grew to love it, I'd need to get other scalloped guitars.
Yeah, to me it kind of... I'm just speaking from my inexperience with scallop necks, but it kind of feels to me like it would be an all or nothing kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're either committed to it or you're not committed to it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm probably wrong. There's probably loads of people watching this video that have both and can easily move between the two.
Please comment down below if you have experience with scalloped frets, because we'd love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're running out of time, and the last thing that we need to do is look at the reverb that we've got in front of us here.
Yeah.
The Untiefe. So we'll get some ambient tones out of that now, just for the end of the video. Do you want to carry on playing with the scallops, or shall we use the other guitar?
Stick with the scallops, just because we're going that nice shiny middle position.
So let's try this. We'll stay on the clean channel of the amp. I'll gradually twiddle some knobs and we'll see what we get. Okay, take it away. That was very nice.
Sustains for days.
It does.
Yeah.
I had to turn the decay. I had to turn the decay back down a bit because it would have just gone on forever. That was really, really nice, and that was just me for a couple of minutes making sounds. Like there's different kinds of modulation in the pedal as well. There was a phaser in there, the sort of vibrato, and you can play with the rate and the depth of those with these two knobs here. But there's other switches I hardly even touched.
Yeah.
You know, so like you'd really need to spend quite a lot of the time with this pedal to really work out what it can do. But I hope that this video has been a decent sort of whistle-stop tour of 4 or 5 different models of Valiant guitars.
Yeah.
Leigh, thanks so much for taking the time to join me and to give us the explanations.
Thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, thank you again. Thanks to everybody else involved in 42 Gear Street, Henning Forley for putting it on, the whole team involved with it, all the brands involved with it, Victor for switching and producing this video. Anybody else we need to mention at this point?
Soma Cables,
yeah,
providing some really cool cables for the event.
Yep. Lichtlaerm, have we thanked them for the pedals?
No, but thank you, Daniel.
At Lichtlaerm, really, really nice sounding pedals that hopefully both of us will be able to explore in a bit more detail at some point in the future.
Definitely go check those guys out.
And Orange for the amplifier over there, which I think you can't see. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yep,
and obviously, Valiant.
Yes, Valiant Guitars being the mainstays of this video.
Not only do they make great guitars, but they're also some of the best people on this planet as well.
They are fantastic people. Check them out. Links to everything will be down there in description. Use the hashtag 42GS6 to find more videos from everybody else at the event. I've lost the ability to speak at the end of this video.
It's the humidity. That's what I'm blaming it on.
Use the hashtag 42GS6 to find all of the other great videos from all of the other YouTubers here at the event. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich from Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.